All right, we are live tonight, guys. Sunday, August 6th, 2023 at 8 o'clock on the dot. Let's jump right in. Sean, Swiggy, I hope you're both doing well. It appears that, college football is back on fire again. We saw a Power 5 conference pretty much collapse in front of us within the past, week, 2 weeks, because Colorado decided that they want to come back. Yeah, week and a half, maybe. Colorado decided they wanted to come back with the milk that we asked them to go get, over 10 years ago. And they finally showed up. They got lost on the West Coast, but they finally showed up. Shortly after that, the Pac-12 decided that they, said, we have something, guys. Just bear with us. I mean, at this point, I was expecting George R.R. Martin's next book to come out before their next media deal. Lo and behold, Arizona said, we'll give you 24 hours to give us something. And they had something, but it was definitely not the price that they were willing to barter with. So in that time, Washington, Oregon, they jumped ship. They're in the Big Ten starting next year, meaning all the schedules got to be completely redone again. And then Arizona State, and Utah have decided to begrudgingly, because they didn't want to go to the Big 12, begrudgingly went to the Big 12. And the Big 12 said, we'll accept y'all in if, we get a written letter of apology of all the shit talk that y'all were saying about the Pac-12 or the Big 12. So that's where we're at right now. Let's kind of jump in there, and then we'll talk some OU football a little bit based on media days and the first workouts and stuff. So what are y'all's thoughts initially going into, we thought, I guess, Sean, you and I have talked about it a little bit way back in the day. We thought a Power 5 conference like the Pac-12 would have stuck around because of their location on the West Coast. That's not the case. They're gone. They're toast. They outie. They're done. Whatever it's going to be, and they left 4 teams left for dead: Washington State, Oregon State, Stanford, and Cal.
Yeah, that happened. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else there is to say, but there's just been years upon years of piss poor management by that conference, and it's finally come back to bite them. And we're, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's they hired probably
the
worst. Well, no, it's not just the worst persons, plural. They had back-to-back the worst hires for a conference commissioner they could have ever gotten. I mean, I think Larry Scott was one day away from not being the worst commissioner, but who knows how things would have turned out regardless if all the craziness in 2010 and 2011 went differently. But,
isn't there some irony behind it that Oregon State was one of those schools that prevented OU and Texas and everybody from joining along with USC?
Well, everyone did that. It wasn't just Oregon State. Everyone was they didn't want Oklahoma State, and there's I've always had this. I always roll my eyes at this idea that conferences have this idea that we need to be super academic best friends in order to have an agreement to play sports together. I always thought that was stupid, but I mean, and here we are. But the one who's the snobbiest when it comes to all of that, more so than the Big Ten, is the Pac-12, and and the snobbiest of the snobbiest schools are the ones who got left behind.
Which is the irony behind that, because Stanford has their $1 billion upon $1 billion of endowment. And Oregon State was we don't want to go into the lowly. We're good where we're at, and then that's where they're at right now because they don't have a brand.
Well, the first mistake that was made was that I think we can all people say the Longhorn Network was the worst thing ever, and it was no, it was the Pac-12. No. It was the Pac-12 network.
Well, it was not. Well, it was not being able to sell the Pac-12 network.
Well, they couldn't sell it because they didn't partner with anybody. We're going to own it all ourselves. They didn't partner with Fox or ESPN or anybody.
True.
So as bad as the Longhorn Network was, at least it was under the ESPN umbrella.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you can say it failed all you want, but it's it still made Texas money, and it's just going to be absorbed next season into the SEC network. And I mean, when the Pac-12 network first was like given and launched, I'm like, wow. When I first saw the presentation, I'm like, wow, this looks cool. I wish we were part of this. And then later you find out, oh, it's not partnered with anyone. So there's a reason the Big Ten network worked, because Fox owned it. It was, and the Big Ten owned it. It was they wanted to, this, and the whole subscription-based model thing. That's what they were basing the revenue on. And so what is the big Pac-12 media rights deal based on with Apple TV? Subscription-based models.
And if we tier model.
And don't worry, guys, if we get like 5 million subscribers, we'll be making the same amount of money as everyone else.
Oof.
No one's gonna, and it's like, and it's my favorite thing: double paywall. Not only do you have to buy not only do you have to buy Apple TV Plus, you have to buy the add-on for the Pac-12 stuff that would have gone. So it's not like you just I'll just subscribe to Apple TV and have access to Pac-12 games. No, it's an extra fucking fee. That's what they were trying to sell them.
Even Major League Baseball hasn't been that stupid with their Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV.
Well, no, but the funniest part was on Friday when all the chaos was going on, I was like, well, looks like the Pac-12 is going to stay together. They're like, all right, guys, we're all here. Hey, has anyone seen Oregon and Washington? Because they didn't fucking show up. They didn't show up. Yeah, and it's like, well, they all thought, well, everyone's going to sign this grant of rights. We just got to wait for the Ducks and the Huskies, and we're good to go. And
the Ducks migrated. the Ducks went east. Yeah, like it's insane. Where it's just like their stuff went to voicemail at that point, and then it just collapsed. Because what was it like? Stuff was happening so fast.
New phone. Who dis?
Yeah, the stuff was happening so fast in the moment. Reporters like, oh, it's good. It was already past that at that point of no, this is not happening anymore.
And so here we are. We're everyone's calling them the Pac-4 now, which is hilarious.
Oh, I saw it Left for Dead.
And there's this idea that they're the four remaining schools. All right, here's where we're gonna get teams to join us. No one's joining you, motherfuckers. No one. Like the brand is dead. It's over. Like no one is joining up with you guys. Like,
and that's the thing they do. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say it's like I believe Cal and Stanford eventually will end up in the Big Ten. Because they're at 18, it's not going to fucking matter if they're at 20 at this point. It really doesn't fucking matter.
That's where you get to the brilliant idea of, hear me out. We have an East and West division. We can call the East the Big Ten and the West the Pac-10.
Well, no, you see, then you run into the problem. But then you run into the problem. Who's going to be forced to be in that division with the other Pac-10 or Pac-12 schools? Because
Nebraska and Iowa,
all the original Big Ten schools, like, I don't want to be separated from y'all. And it's like, well, Nebraska, you're definitely being sent over there.
Yeah, you are getting voted off the island. Yeah. Bye, Nebraska.
You ain't. You would have to be.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's
like
so mean,
Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa. Yeah, you get to go with them or whatever. So
yeah.
I don't know. It is just at the end of the day. What really irritates me. I'm seeing all these the crying and sobbing over the sanctity of the sport or the purity of the how. Whenever something like this happens, I hear about how pure the sport is, and it's like it's so. And it's like
I feel bad for like the softball or field hockey team who literally has no say in that they went. I do feel bad for some of them. They didn't sign up to go and play. They didn't sign up for like long trips to play in Ohio.
Why? All the best players just going to transfer to OU anyway.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. If they don't like it, they can transfer. Like,
it's still tough. I don't feel for them. Like it's not the end of the world for them. They'll adapt, but I do feel for like the girl from Washington who wanted to stay in the Pac-12 and who now suddenly has to. I have to fly.
So what?
I have to fly to Nebraska.
There's a flip side to that. Okay. That's the nature of sports.
Okay, well, because they're not making money. Well, because they're not making as much money off it as.
I gotta get on a plane. Boo hoo!
It it is rough. It is rough for college. It is rough for college athletes. For everyone else who's not football,
don't play sports. Don't play sports.
Rough. Yeah, but
I feel the only
look. I don't feel bad for them to stop it, but I do feel for them in general because, look, major league players.
You're on a scholarship. You're on a scholarship to play sports to go to college for free. Get on a fucking plane and go to Iowa. Quit bitching.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, some of it's half scholarship, some of it's quarter scholarship. It does. Yeah, it's not a full ride.
Yeah, I feel for them. Exactly. Not enough to stop it because you gotta suck it up. But as someone who actively had problems in college with some things, I can't imagine having to fly on a plane every weekend, having to fly on a plane. Even for just a month out of the year and deal with it. So it is what it is. I don't feel bad for them to stop it, but they are the ones who pay probably more than anyone else, and they're not seeing the money out of it that others are seeing. But that's just where we are. That's just where we are.
I'm looking at it as with sports. Cool guys, you're commuting. That's literally all you're doing, and at least it's on an airplane. That's what it comes down to.
But the USC UCLA's plan is stupid to fly some of them commercial. Yeah, a United plane at Hopkins Airport in Ohio is going to wait on the Washington women's field hockey team or track team. You are going to have travel problems.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong on that. I think that they need to figure out if USC's playing Rutgers in a sport that's not football, can they meet in Nebraska or something? I mean, is it really that difficult to go play at a softball at a neutral site type of deal for it? But then again, like I said, I feel a little bit for Washington because they were kind of dragged in mostly. But then for the other schools, I agree with you, Sean, Cal's going to get accepted because Cal is they're probably UCLA is going to get tired of paying that money. At some point, they're going to get accepted to the Big Ten. Stanford has an endowment.
Well, no, the problem is they have to get involved. Fox didn't want to pay the money for Cal and Stanford.
Right. Big Ten wanted Cal and Stanford. Fox, no, you're getting Oregon and Washington. You're gonna like it.
I want to pay them. I want to pay them.
They didn't have a problem with Oregon, Washington. It's just the fact that they wanted the whole Cal's broke, so Cal might just fold athletics at some point. I wouldn't be surprised. Stanford's good enough to keep it going. I don't know. It's just.
I mean, Cal, haven't you seen at this point the Spirit Halloween signs on their stadium with how much debt they're in? So, yeah.
And they have a shitty stadium, too. They just don't give a fuck.
Well, and
Cal's football stadium looks like something out of the 50s. It is.
Yeah, it does.
It is awful. No, it's awful.
I mean,
you're right. I mean, Cal. I could see Cal just choosing to fold up and move on.
Let's be honest, for some of these schools like Wazzu and Oregon State, they're pissy that they're not getting accepted, but they're also so prideful that they're not willing to go down to G5 just to save money.
I got some bad news for them.
Yeah, it's happening. Whether I could see Stanford going independent. That's it at that point. I'm sorry, Wazzu and Oregon State, I don't feel bad for them because they were overextending themselves in the first place anyway.
I do feel I feel bad for the fans just because
I don't.
They're still gonna play football with those teams.
I do feel bad.
They don't have a choice because they'd be stupid to say no.
I do feel bad just because you love something, and and basically someone at Fox or ESPN said, "Oh, these lines don't meet, so you're kind of just screwed."
Then they should have been good the past 40 years and not terrible teams.
I just do feel for people just because it does suck when it comes down to an executive making that decision, which is all it really is. But that's just where we are. So
that's true. Mm-hmm. However, let me throw this at you. This is also too. Let's use Wazzu as an example. Nobody wants to travel to Pullman. We both talked about this. Of the last G5 or Power 5 team that was not Wisconsin this year that actually traveled fully to Pullman, and an out-of-conference game was the world beaters known as Illinois back in 1998. They don't want to fly out there just to travel again. They don't. As pretty as Washington State is, don't get me wrong, it's a gorgeous campus. Nobody wants to, especially when you can root for Montana 20 minutes away.
And that's kind of why I feel for them, just because it's a lot of stuff outside fans' control. It's just where we are. The sport will survive, and of course, everything's going to survive with it. But that doesn't mean they don't feel. That doesn't mean they don't feel for fans who thought, okay, we're safe in the Pac-12, and we're actually not, because they can't get the Rutgers kind of deal where Rutgers had 15 minutes to get into the Big Ten, and they took it.
Of course they took it.
Yeah.
Sean, you were the one who told me years back that you saw basically 4 super conferences with about 16 teams in them. I think we're at the next step where we're going to start calling some teams of, sorry, Rutgers, sorry, Maryland, y'all out. Y'all aren't worth the brand.
No, that's not happening.
Why wouldn't it? Rutgers and Maryland.
You brought Rutgers in to have. You don't bring them in for market. You don't bring them in for football. You brought them in for access to the New York market for television dollars. You don't kick out Rutgers because everyone's got to have a patsy or two that you beat in football. No one's
then would be the one you kick out. Northwestern.
You don't kick out anyone. I talk about this the other day on my channel. It's I said that might happen one day, but it's not happening anytime soon.
No, you're talking. If we're all still alive in 2060, I could see it. But you're saying with Rutgers, you do want that new.
If you're going to kick anybody out, you're going to kick out schools that don't have any value to you market wise. Okay, I have the Indiana Hoosiers. I don't need Purdue.
Yeah,
shit like that. I don't. Again, I'm just giving an example here. Do we really need the Mississippi schools? No, we don't.
No,
they exist. They're nice to beat up, and they're occasionally good enough to get a good rating game. But yeah,
do we need Vanderbilt? No.
But
they're the rich kid that always just is happy to just be there, so they're not kicking.
Yeah, but no one's getting kicked out right now. All that.
Eventually, it'll probably happen, but that's down the road.
Well, they won't get kicked out. It'll just be there'll be a brand new division of football that'll happen, and
isn't it inevitable at this point then, Sean, that G5 is probably going to get, or 1AA is going to finally get that playoff you keep telling people about that they refuse exists?
Well, they do have that playoff, that 1AA playoff.
The G5 of with the Tulanes of the world and the Rices of the world, that they'll finally get the thing that you said, that's what they should have been doing for a long time.
Well, they want to pretend they're big boy football, and that's fine. But that, eventually, that's all going to come. Reality is going to come crashing down around them if it hasn't done so already.
The money gap is bigger than the Premier League, and that should tell you something.
It's just the Big 12, the Big 12 being a thing, and a bunch of the hateful 8 Big 12 fans are all celebrating today. Is we did it, guys. We did it. We succeeded. I'm congratulations on your bronze medal.
Your best. The thing is, the Big 12 survived because they're not valuable enough to steal from, but they're low enough that adding Arizona and Colorado is a plus for them. And
congratulations! You have a nice middle-class neighborhood.
Your best football program is now Utah,
which is kind of funny when you think about it, because
sure, yeah, I guess.
Well, with all the teams they brought in, it still doesn't value OU and Texas leaving. That's the entire ironic part of it.
Well, no, their whole art is yeah, we did. It took 6 schools for you to bring in to maybe even come close to the money you were going to make with OU sticking around.
Yeah.
So that's what I find funny about the whole. Yeah, man. It's all right.
You want? Congrats, you did technically, congrats. You're not dead, and you're not.
I guarantee 8 or 9 of you fuckers got a legit offer from the big two. You'd be gone in a heartbeat. So,
which is the funny part that I keep hearing about I can't believe Oregon and USC would trade all that. It's not fair to our athletes. It's not fair to their athletes. Like, of course they're going to take the better deal.
No, no, it's not. But no, it's not. I mean, but that's just where. I mean, that's just where we are. And it's like, people are mad. Have to adapt.
Well, people are crying again. People are crying about the regional rivalries and stuff. To which I say, you can still play those. Like, it's
nothing stopping you.
What? You're telling me you can do it out of conference? What?
Iowa and Iowa State do it all the time. So,
speaking of Iowa and Iowa State, completely unrelated. Then we also have, on the other side of the East Coast, Florida State really wanting out of this grant of rights and trying to do everything as possible, including talking to JP Morgan. Can we sell some equity? Can we get out of this way? What do you got, guys?
If there's, you know what? I'm 100% sure there's nothing that Florida State boosters would love more than having to take orders from the Saudis.
The Saudis on the other side of the planet going, all right.
They'll think about it. I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it, but I'm not sure if that will ever come to fruition. But but if it can, they're going to try it. I mean, that's just
nothing is going to happen with the ACC.
No, it's not.
No. There's nothing is happening.
They got swindled.
Florida State's going to bark and yell and cry, and they're going to have to fucking eat the big shit sandwich that everyone else like.
If they had an actual deal, they'd have announced it. They have announced it by now.
There is no deal. Yeah, there's no deal to announce. They're stuck. Unless we talked for like a year and a half over OU trying to avoid paying what 70 or 80 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
These fuckers would owe 130.
Yeah.
They ain't paying that shit. That's for one school.
Nope. That's why I said, I'd love. Honestly, I would love if they did. They're not going to, but if they did raise that private equity, Florida State boosters versus like Qataris or Saudis. Yeah, I'm sure that'll go well for everyone.
Yeah, that's just like incompetent Congress just waiting to get involved at that point. We don't want that.
No, nobody wants that. And it's that's just that's where we are, and that's just where we are. It's like Florida State wants out of their grant rights, but they have no ability to do so. And SEC and Big Ten aren't going to pay that bill. Don't get me wrong, if Florida State becomes available, yeah, sure, but you got to pay your way in.
Yeah. They're not the bigger brand that they think they are, and now they have to they would rely on the SEC. Well, Disney's a little hurting for money at the moment. They would have to literally pay for their membership, like you said.
Disney's not really hurting for money. They just aren't as valuable. Their stock just isn't as high as they'd like it. But they're still not going to pay $130 million for Florida State to say,
no.
oh yeah, take a piece out of everyone's pie. No, they're not going to do that. That's stupid. That'd be stupid for them. That'd be stupid for everyone. And that's just kind of where we are. Florida State's throwing a tantrum, but until they can raise the $130 million, absolutely nothing is going to happen with it. And so the ACC is going to be fine for at least 8 more years. Then, we'll see where we are in 8 years. Probably not a good place, but you never know. And
do you think the next step with conferences at this point would be football basically breaking away from the rest of it and then going back to like more smaller sub conferences for non-revenue sports?
We're like 5 or 6 steps away from that happening, like major steps. So I don't think we're even close to that yet.
No.
What steps do you think we're going to have to get to that point?
We're not going to get there for a while. If that's what is my point. Basically, I don't know what steps they would be, but just I think people want to see what this whole thing's going to look like in a year or two, because again, we still got to see what the travel is like, because I'm still saying that we're 3 years away from some West Coast team being horribly stranded in Nebraska, and national sports writers try and make it into a story that it's not really, but it's but that story is going to come. How it's it's so horrible that some team got stuck there during a snowstorm or whatever, which happens, but whatever. Oh well, the Rose Bowl bullshit is over. The whole
the Rose Bowl is in shambles right now.
Our traditional matchup is ruined. Good. Fuck the Rose Bowl.
You mean their pyramid scheme is finally done, and that now they got
fuck all those old people in red coats in Pasadena who try to dictate how your postseason works.
They are probably losing their minds right now.
Tradition is just peer pressure from dead people.
The Rose Bowl is just going to be an incestuous Big Ten only bowl game where it's Big Ten versus Big Ten.
Yeah.
Why would
USC didn't play Ohio State, so they can play in the Rose Bowl. We can pretend things are I was like, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, man.
If there is here's a question for both of y'all. If there is one thing you do genuinely dislike about the conference realignment this go around, is there anything that's I'm not a fan of this?
I hate that it didn't happen sooner.
The only thing I'm really anti is some of the travel stuff for the sports that don't really make money, and that just because that does actively suck for some people, but whatever. Everyone will live.
They have to. There's not a choice.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm an elite. I'm a college football elite snob. Long live power programs.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just laugh at the people who's like, I don't like college football like the NFL. It's I try to get them to explain to me what it is that they supposedly think is superior, and it's I see it's do you tell me? I'm trying to think what you like, because all I've heard for years, for decades, is the whole people bitching about the postseason format, and we finally get a postseason format that's not stupid, and starting a year from now, we'll have a postseason format that's not stupid, and people talk about the sanctity of the bowls, and I'm like,
who cares about the bowls?
What are you talking about?
Nobody cares about. And
the only thing that sucks is for people who don't get to play their regular rivalry games, and I know it's regional based. In a perfect world, I would keep all the Power 5 conferences back to what they were, and we would have access to the playoff and everything. And I think that's what people wanted, but the shifting and everything, and I get that to an extent. But
yeah,
I always tell people it's conference realignments. If there's one consistent tradition in college football, conference realignment every 10 to 20 years always happens. So people act like this is new. Nobody really cried that. People didn't cry when the Big East went away because, it wasn't the long-standing traditional. So when the Big 12 had it's they cried a little bit with the old Big 8 stuff and Nebraska going, but life went on. And now the Pac-12 is doing the same thing, and they're about to that's happening. Oh, and the Southwest Conference. People act like the Southwest Conference didn't exist because the Big 12 was some great traditional power.
It didn't exist. The Southwest never could. Yeah, the Southwest never existed to me. It broke up before I understood what was going on.
Exactly.
The Big 12 was technically was not just. They didn't keep the Big 8 history or tradition. They just when the Big 12 formed, they dropped it was a whole new entity with the Big 8 schools and the 4 Southwest Conference schools they took. They didn't continue affiliation with the Orange Bowl. They had divisions. There was no OU Nebraska game at the end of every year. They dropped all those quote unquote traditional games super quickly. So I don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about. when it comes to like, because I always tell people it's like I've seen Oklahoma like slowly strip away whatever quote unquote traditions like people cared about over the years.
Yeah.
And guess what? People still like OU football in Oklahoma.
Yep.
What a shock! Oh my god! It's like people are going to stop watching. Last I checked, OU football is as popular as it's ever fucking been. So,
which is the funny part of the people saying that. Well, I'm a Wazzu fan, and I'm just not going to watch football anymore. Cool.
all right.
And
Well, they may not have a football program much longer, so they have a right to say that.
Well, that's fair.
Like
That's fair.
It may not. Like,
That's fair. Yeah.
it may not exist.
You're right. Well, and it's Sean. It's the same thing you said too. And this is something I wanted to keep in mind. It's nice that we're in a stable conference, and we don't have to worry about this shit. We know where we're going next year. Everything's lined up. We just got to make it through this year. It's nice to not be part of the drama for once. Yeah. But it's the same thing. They said too. I was listening to Gabe and Teddy, and they said pretty much roughly the same thing. They're like, guys, you also have to look at it from a business perspective, from Fox's and ESPN side. They don't want to air these shitty games. They don't. They want to air big. The name helmet.
Yeah, I guarantee you, like, everyone's super excited. Like, I always let people get super excited for week 0. I'm like, what the fuck is there on week 0 this year? Like, nothing. It is a garbage slate. Like last year, we were all so excited for Nebraska, Northwestern, and Ireland. And I'm like, I watched that game because I found it hilarious that fucking Scott Frost fucked that shit up against like one of the worst Northwestern teams ever put on the field.
And somehow both coaches are gone now.
Well, yeah, because like you lost to a team that both programs had PTSD for various different reasons. So I don't know what the hell people are all, because like there will be a week in September, probably week 3 or week 4, where there'll be a bunch of garbage games, and people are like, oh, there's not a good game on this week. And it's like, because we always do it. We look at the schedule every week in the season, and we're like, crap. There's a maybe, crap. Oh, and then usually there's one game worth watching.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's going to turn into the NFL. You promise? Fuck me, dude.
Well, it's the same thing. I talked to and got into, like, not arguments, but discussions with people at work. What do you want to see more? The big name helmets against each other, or these little product teams? And they're like, we want the tradition. No, you don't. You're full of shit. Because guess what? In high school, it's not even that. In high school, can we get it through these?
What tradition? Like, outside of, I'm sick of playing like garbage. I'm sick of playing the garbage Big 12 teams. I'm sick of it.
I mean,
nobody wants to play Iowa State.
I will say, I do kind of get where people are coming from, because people are just generally suspicious of anything that feels like big business or corporations. I mean, it's all going to work out, but it's kind of, I think I said earlier this week, I said it's like the end of Casino, where Robert De Niro like says, "Oh, Vegas was better when the mob was running it." No, it wasn't. It really wasn't better. It's just that's what you're used to, and that's where people are right now. They're in the we preferred the chaos of it. No, you didn't. You bitched about the BCS for years. You bitched about polls for years. It's just you're just mad because it feels like ESPN and Fox are the ones forcing this, when really it's just natural events.
Some of it. I mean, I would say they're forcing a little bit.
Weeding out teams. But I mean, it's like, but it's like people. I mean, I like I'm an insomniac. I like Pac-12 After Dark as much as anyone. But really and truly, I'd rather see interesting things than like, okay, Wazzu and Cal are in some stupid game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But
whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fun after I've had like 5 beers. It's fun after I've had a few beers.
Well, and that's what they. Don't get me wrong. The one thing that I know the Pac does not have in their control, but they didn't lean into it. Either you go all in or you change your time. Was being on the West Coast. That hurts, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like that, they should have 100% either leaned into Pac-12 After Dark.
It was their own fault. They signed off on that contract. They wanted to have night games on the West Coast, and unfortunately, when you have night games on the West Coast, you're gonna start 10:30. You're basically gonna be starting at 10:30, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Guess what?
People sleep.
Yeah.
Pac-12
games back in the day used to be noon kickoffs on the West Coast, 3:30 kicks on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I get it though. You want people to be able to have night games. I get it. I'm not saying it's smart business.
If you want to have a national audience, you don't.
It. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get why they wanted it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a catastrophic failure. I mean,
FYI, Sean, you mentioned with the subscription, I was looking for the number and I finally found it. So the Pac-12, they had the tiers with it that they all wanted to hit them like the max profit at 50 million at 5 million subscriptions.
That was never going to happen.
no.
Correct, because the NFL Sunday ticket only has 2.4 million. No way that was even realistic. That was
so the most popular league, one of the most popular leagues in the world outside of, European soccer. Outside of that, can only get 2.4 million subscribers. And you think fuckers, a regional conference that's 4th or 5th in the pecking order, is going to get 5 million subscribers? That's why Oregon and Washington didn't show up to the meeting on Friday.
Look, Sean, if I sign up and 5 of my friends sign up, and
5 of their friends sign up.
Yeah, that's never realistic. I mean, look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I subscribe to Apple TV, and I'm in the extreme minority in people who do, mostly because I like watching. Mostly because I like watching Friday Night Baseball with whatever they have on.
But that's your hobby. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You indulge in your hobby. I poke fun at you a whole lot of who watches baseball at 2 a.m. in the morning? I watch baseball at 2 a.m. in the morning.
But that's the thing. I am a super minority fanatic who loves baseball, football, basketball. I will watch hockey. I am in the super minority in this. I am not even going to pretend I'm not. There is no way I was going to subscribe to the Pac-12 network.
You know how they could have done it? Just occurred to me. You know what they could have done? They could have partnered with T-Mobile. I'm just saying, switch over to your subscription to T-Mobile, and you will get the Pac-12 network for free.
Yeah, but like I said, I subscribe to. I love sports. That should tell you something. Where I unsubscribe to the MLS package, which is I think like $60 now. I don't subscribe. I would never subscribe to a Pac-12 package, and I am someone who loves sports. Watches
it's a garbage package.
Exactly. It was never going to work.
I want to add this in too.
I mean, heck,
go ahead.
I'll finish this here. I'm someone who loves the NFL. I think their Thursday night on Amazon package is the dumbest thing they could do.
Why so?
It just limits it, and even with it just people watch Thursday night football to watch. People don't search for Thursday night football. People watch Thursday night football because there's a game on, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
and people aren't clicking onto Amazon Prime for it. They just aren't.
Right.
Go on.
The one thing I was going to say is it in the sense of why these schools also left, not just we're going to give you a low ball price and do the tiers for it. Something we've kind of briefly glossed over, but I do want to drive it home. It's also they said 100% streaming. I think we're still 50 years off before streaming is the mainline one, and maybe I'm off about 20
50 it ain't gonna be 50 dude.
It's the infrastructure. The problem is the infrastructure. You're gonna get people who are still on cable for a long time before that. We had it here in Oklahoma.
Not 50 years.
Yeah.
Not 50 is not 50.
Then maybe 25, because here's an example in Oklahoma.
Not 25 either.
It had to be 25 because we had it here where AT&T got a deal 10 years ago to put stuff in the country for broadband. Never happened. And there's like, oh, we want to do it now. They're just going to take the money and run again.
Streaming
it's going to take a while.
The general issue with streaming is kind of where everything is. Everyone who wants to do it is, I mean, you're seeing with studios and like writers and actors right now. It's everyone who's trying to do it. We're not in a realistic. It's the problem is people don't want to pay a ton of money for it because consumers have been trained that
you're thinking about the here and now. What I'm talking about is streaming is going to listen. We could talk about infrastructure. We could talk about who gets paid what. At the end of the day, the only thing people watch live that makes money is live sports.
Yeah,
or sports entertainment, quote unquote. Like, I don't watch live TV anymore outside of AEW every week, like 1 or 2 shows a week.
Yeah,
in sports, I have no reason to watch live television unless it's like a super special event or a fucking hurricane is coming near me.
You're telling me you don't have it on just to watch reruns of Storage Wars? I'm very disappointed in you.
No, I mean, because if I really wanted to, I'd find a YouTube channel with like 100 episodes. I could watch it on a playlist. So, no, like, and so I could talk for an hour about streaming and all its ups and downs.
Right. Don't get me wrong. That was not a can of worms I was wanting to open. It was just I think we're still a while off because
but the thing is, the Pac-12 getting an all streaming deal or mostly streaming deal
is an insult.
No. It's not that it's an insult. It's just that it's too early to have something like that, and that's the only thing. And it's like this is the only thing you're going to get. They never had the inventory that people would want.
No,
the SEC and the Big Ten do, but see, here's the thing: everyone is going to be on some sort of streaming this year. At least one game. Our SMU is going to be a streaming game, so it's like they're inching closer to that. Where at some point, this is where it's going to happen. ESPN will be sold. If you just want to get ESPN, all the streaming options, you'll probably be able to buy ESPN for $20 a month for everything. Yeah. I think that's coming. So
I do
because
too.
of whether Disney sells ESPN or finds a partner or however that works, that's a whole nother
topic. I don't think they'll sell it.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. But
I think it's one of those things that's going to try and happen, but there's a lot there's a lot up in the air with what consumers are going to actually pay. And but yeah, I mean, we could talk about streaming all we want, but that's not the point of this. But the point is the Pac-12 streaming deal was too early. It was very unrealistic with what they could get, and that is unfortunately where we are with the and that's why the Pac-12 collapsed, because they did the math and felt figuring out transportation was better in the long run.
Well, they collapsed because they were egotistical. They made stupid business decisions, and they didn't pounce. Like the Big 12 was faster. They said we're going to get our TV deal done first, and they thought they could get their 30-40 million a school, and it's like, guys, SC and UCLA are gone. You ain't worth that. You're just not by yourselves. So breaking the bad news there, but no one's going to pay you that. So,
well, it was the same reality check that the Big 12 got when OU and Texas announced it. Like, you got to figure it out, guys, or we're not paying you the money for it. And they got, as you said, they jumped on it, they secured it, and kudos. I may not agree with all of his decisions that he's done, but kudos to their commissioner for getting it taken care of and probably securing some basketball stuff as a backup. Like, kudos to him. He made it where
it's like the Big 12. The Big 12 is still gonna be an awesome basketball conference. So
like
all that matters at this point is survival. I still feel like a lot of the Big 12 stuff is built on hopes, dreams, and rainbows. But as long as you have a TV deal and you're surviving through this cycle, you have hope. I mean, you're kicking the can down. I mean, I think the Big 12 is kicking the can down the road, and eventually they're going to collapse. But who knows where you are in 5 years? I don't know. I don't know. Aliens could invade. We could all be. I could vote for Kodos. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Like, we have years to go through it. It is what it is, and we're just gonna look back on it the same way of that's what it was, and this is what the sport evolved to. It is what it is.
Unfortunately.
So, sucks for them. Don't get me wrong. I feel bad for some of their fans. I don't feel bad for all of them. Same thing with the schools. In the day, they're businesses. They made a business decision for it. We'll see what happens with Florida State, and I'm kind of really interested to see what happens in the Big 12 at this point. Like, on the verge of death to a solid conference.
I feel bad for Arizona. I feel mildly bad for Arizona State, who's like West Coast, West Virginia. They don't want to be here, but there's no better option at this point. So we're just going to make the best of it.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, West Virginia keeps on asking if they can join the Big Ten or the ACC, and they're like, no. Y'all good. Y'all good. So let's talk a little bit of OU football, though. So last week, we had our first media press conference, preseason, and Brent talked a little bit, and all the coaches talked about where the players are at right now, who they're expecting. And Sean, you and I kind of off camera talked about it a little bit. And I would say, right now, I think everybody, but despite what the coaches say, I think our biggest areas of concern are still going to be tight end, not necessarily because Stogner's at the starter. It's because there's nobody behind him, and wide receiver is a little bit concerning at the moment. Everything else at this point, quarterback is going to be Dylan Gabriel. Everyone should be. There's no arguing that that's going to happen. The thing I was surprised at, there was not a lot of talk about the running backs. They were kind of briefly glossed over for it. Not that there's anything wrong with running back. It's just there's not really any talking points from it. O-line was discussed. I think we discussed ad nauseum already. Matauer being, yes, he is part of the O-line. Hopefully his job is taken at the end by sometime in the year. D-line's going to be completely new, which is good, because I also think too, I didn't think about this. I do think that's also Brent saying everyone's job is open for it, and maybe he wants to add a little bit of competitiveness. Who knows? For it. Safeties, it's going to be our strongest position in my opinion, outside of the D-line. What am I missing? What stuff on it?
You got it. We're done. Good night, everybody.
So I mean that briefly covers it. They're going in. They had started their workouts on Thursday. Did we hear any reports? Anything from Thursday of who's doing what?
What do you mean?
Did we have anything of the first workout stuff? Like
Oh yeah. Like there's a bunch of sunshine and rainbows floating around about OU practices.
After champs.
After 2 practices, it's like sunshine and rainbows.
Gonna be the best OU team ever. I tell you.
Yeah, it's Camp Note season in Oklahoma.
Nice.
So yeah, football brainiacs putting out their sunshine and rainbow hype.
Death taxes and their sunshine and rainbows. That's
my god! Everyone's so awesome. And it's like, all right, I'm sure some people are doing well after 2 practices, but let's calm the fuck down.
No,
Key Lawrence is not going away, man.
No,
okay. I don't think he.
No, I'm not gonna calm down. I want the best thing ever, and if I don't get it, I'm gonna be disappointed.
They're telling you exactly what you're gonna hear. National champ, dude.
100%.
National champions. What about because like I said, there's not really anything. We're learning on some stuff. What about recruiting? We finally got our date for
you don't want to talk about camp at all anymore. You're just like, fuck that shit.
There's not
camp
look, it exists, yeah. I like hearing the notes, don't get me wrong. What's there to pull from after 2 days?
I don't know.
It's the best thing ever, and trying to filter through the white noise of the coaches.
I mean, you got the new guys, so people are excited about Peyton Bowen. PJ was start off a little dinged up, but he's okay. He's practicing. So
And Petaway, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like Jaquez Petaway is the one I'm really on the offense. I'm interested in hearing what he does because he just got there, and he was the most highly touted wide receiver of the class, and so yeah, I think he if he can be an instant impact true freshman, you combine him with like Gavin Freeman and Drake Stoops and Farouk, then you'll have and people are trying to hype. Andrell Anthony's getting a lot of fucking hype. Because his speed and you just go watch his he basically had one great game when he was at Michigan versus Michigan State in 21. That was like his big game where it's like, holy shit, Andrell Anthony. Like that's what he could be. So yeah, he's getting that sort of hype right now. So, but again, we got to see it in games. Like I'm hearing great things on Stogner for what it's worth. So
I am too. I'm hearing like it's great. We're glad we had at the position because we don't have anybody.
But like, you need to have like someone like Caden Helms is never healthy. I just assume he's just hurt all the time. So
yeah,
he could do podcasts and everything. And I'm not saying that as a rip. I'm not ripping him, but it's like dude's on podcasts and talking all the time, and he's fun to listen to. But it's like dude's not healthy to be on the football field, and Jason Llewellyn's dinged up too. So it's like one of those fuckers got to get healthy and do something. Like just be a body that can contribute. That's all I want right now. It's like one of you fuckers do something. Not saying you suck. I'm not saying you're great. I'm just saying can one of you be healthy and just do anything? That's all I want. I want to see how the O-line. I want to see Savion Byrd take one of those guard spots. Any of them. I would like him to take both of those guard spots. Play both of them at the same time. Be really ambidextrous in that in that category or whatever. Just someone do something.
Who, Sean, while I'm thinking about it, I saw it, but I cannot find it in my notes for the life of me. Did they mention in the practice report of who's actually at the cheetah position right now? Or is it still everybody's at the cheetah? Oh, here it is. 4 guys, Justin Harrington, Dason McCullough, Reggie Pearson, and Peyton Bowe. Who do you think will be the final person that's going to be the lead?
I don't know. I think Dason McCullough was brought in to do that, so I got to guess it's him.
Everyone, these people exist. I don't know.
Peyton Bowen's gonna be on the field in some shape or form, so he'll be out there at some point. But
at some point, one of these people will make a tackle.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope so. It's an upgrade from last year because nobody could tackle last year. Like people got mad. Like some dude got mad at me because I quote tweeted saying how much I approve of the comments that almost everyone on the front 7 starting wise outside of Stutzman will be different. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's like someone took that as a negative. It's like, dude, you're so negative today. It's like you think this is a negative? I think it's great. Are you fucking kidding me?
Did you see our tackling last year?
You see us? We went 6 and 7 last year, right?
Yeah. Unfortunate, but I'm assuming. But I mean, hopefully we do better this year. And last year is just a gap year. Everyone has a gap year every once in a while.
Yeah.
Not in Oklahoma. You're not allowed to have a gap year. But I fucking hate OU Twitter. By the way, I fucking hate OU Twitter so much.
I hate Twitter. I'm
just a bunch of fucking morons in OU Twitter.
I hate Twitter.
Oh, is it because you name dropped Matauer and that like?
Yeah, I said I
said,
someone please take his job. He sucks. Sorry.
Some people suck. It's life.
I hate to break bad news. We do not have 85 All-Americans on this team. We just don't.
What?
But Sean, that's not what the football Brainiacs were saying. They were saying national champ.
So Brent said he was going to be good. It's just like Brent says lots of things. He's the head coach.
Because Brent's not going to. Because let's be honest, Brent's not going to throw him under the bus at a press conference. Like that's common sense, guys.
I love Brent, but I was like, okay, Brent. You say you're seeing a different McCabe Towers. Like, oh, okay, Brent. We'll see. Yeah. And here's the thing. Like, it's not like we have this daunting schedule. So, like, who, like, outside of Texas, I'm trying to think who's going to give the offensive line a lot of problems this year. and I'm struggling to find one right now. So I'm sure people are going to throw this back in my face in 6 months or so. It's like, you said he's going to suck. It's like, dude, we didn't play anybody. Like, I'm sure I'll find. I will find out for certain tomorrow if I'm going to the one game that will be tested overall.
Yeah.
And once I know that, I'll make plans. And assuming my head doesn't want to explode anytime soon, but
yeah. Well, and I look at it with what you mentioned about the Matower thing. Coach ain't gonna throw him under the bus. At the flip side,
well, no, he's not Jim Harbaugh.
Oh wow, yeah. I look at it as if they were not under NIL, yeah, you could say that they're under NIL. It's free game, guys. Like
NIL doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, I look at it as if they're getting paid for it.
10 years, you know what? 10 years ago, we didn't have NIL. And people shit on Landry Jones all the goddamn time.
I mean, I'm guilty of it. Landry Sean.
Landry Jones probably, honestly, Landry Jones probably cried more than any OU player.
Yeah, and he was the best quarterback we had for 4 straight years.
That's true.
God.
Well, and that's the thing I think about Matower is, unless it's just they're waiting through fall camp,
can Jake Taylor take his fucking job, please? Like, that'd be great.
Is there nobody behind Matower where
can Troy Everett, like, would they want him as a center? Like, I want, like, you want
the person.
I want Scarlett Johansson to give me a blowjob too. But
beggars can't be choosers, though.
Like, can we put the best 5 out on the field and keep them there?
Right,
that'd be great.
No, obviously not.
No, and it's a problem that also. Anyway.
Do you not trust Beanvo? I do, but when fucking Levy comes out and says Matower still has his job, like, because you don't come out and say this guy left guard is open and then all the other jobs are safe. And I'm like, fuck you.
So that was my thought too, and I have that in mind.
The only 3 guys that I believe when they tell me their jobs are safe are Walter Rouse, Andrew Rame, and Tyler Guyton.
Yeah,
that's it. The guard spots are up for grabs, folks. Go get them.
I mean, I believe Dylan Gabriel's job is safe through week 1, but
his job is safe the entire year until he gets injured. Because it's not an if, it's a when. There is not going to be he's going to lose his job. Andrew. Not going to happen.
I hope he doesn't get injured. But
fun fact, did you also know I think they said he's only a junior based on his years and stuff.
Well, he's not staying. He's not staying.
No,
this year.
No.
Yeah, right. Don't get me wrong. That's just a trivia fact. It's like, no, that's right. But I agree with you. It's like who's behind him? Where? Yeah. I think
he's safe. I mean, he's safe. Yeah, he's as safe as you can get because people don't want to start. No one wants to start. I mean, as much as people want to start Jackson Arnold, it's hard to start any freshman. So.
Well, and it's
unless you're a generational talent 2 years ago. You can start a freshman if you want to.
Well, true.
Oh yeah. Speaking of people of name dropping, what about that Radler guy? When people want him benched and stuff as well, they're name dropping him all the time. Or Dylan Gabriel, like right now. So anyway, the only note that I remember too from the workouts is they said they were really struggling in the heat right now, and some people took that as a big red flag. I took it as it's 115 out. I'm not really concerned about it when it's not going to be that temperature.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to play football in 10 years because of global warming. It's going to be great.
Yeah, well, we're going to be underground. Didn't you know that?
I'm going to be underwater.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be underwater. We're going to be underground.
Why do you think I've started digging right now?
Yeah. We'll get everything good in 10 years. Unless we don't have to worry about then tornadoes anymore. I'm just saying.
And then the Meg will come and kill us.
Yeah. Sean, what are we looking at for recruiting at the moment? David Stone obviously set his commitment date. William Minari also set his commitment date. Am I missing? I know there's one more.
We had a commitment yesterday, so or the day before.
Was that our in-state kid?
We had in-state offensive tackle who Isosa, like Josh Isosa. He's a solid pickup. He's got the size, frame, body, all that stuff. He's a, I don't want to call him a project. But he's depth. You can develop him. He's a guy you bring. He's a guy you bring in your red shirt, and if you can develop him, great. But it's it's just it is what it is. You want to add a little bit of depth at tackle, but it's not something you go, yeah, we got him. It's like, good. Well, we got a solid body for the depth chart. So
yeah. But besides him,
there's other names that are out there. There's like Andy. Was it Andy Bass is an in-state kid that we might get soon.
He's the one. Is that Millwood kid?
I think so. Yeah, he's
because Millwood used to be a powerhouse. Really,
he's an athlete, and I don't know. He might. Some people are trying to figure out if he's going to be like a running back or an all-purpose guy or something. But it's looking like he'll be committing sometime soon. But all everyone cares about is a week for tomorrow night. So a week from tomorrow night is kind of like what everyone's kind of waiting to find out what's going to happen, and it's a neck and neck race with Missouri, and Georgia mods believe they're in it when there's no evidence to prove otherwise outside of a Georgia mod saying so. Like the most.
I believe in Georgia.
Georgia's not in this thing. Like most Georgia mods, like, no, we're not in this because kid wants to the kid of the family that want him to stay somewhat close to home. So he's either staying in state Missouri or Oklahoma is like the other choice here. NIL is a big part of it. Missouri is throwing a gigantic bag, way bigger than they probably should, and that's what's keeping them in this thing. Oklahoma is offering a pretty big bag themselves, not the size of what Missouri is offering, but Oklahoma also has, the coaching staff and the relationships with the coaches, and, they have that going for them, and, a track record of actually winning. And Drinkowitz at Missouri is like not long for this world because what a shock if Missouri has a shitty season this year, he may not survive it. So,
yeah,
those are all these things you have to consider. Brent, regardless of whatever happens this year, is not getting fired.
No.
Drinkowitz.
But everybody is saying that. I mean, that he's on the hot. No. Yeah. People are not.
So, I don't know. End of the day,
do you want him or do you want David Stone?
I want both. What do you mean? I want both of those motherfuckers.
I want every good. Look, the simple thing is what I do with fantasy football. I just pick every good player, so I never lose. That's all you have to do. God, Josh, don't you know football?
I'm sorry. I guess I'm such a novice. I'm sorry.
You are. Just make sure you get every good player, and you'll be great forever. God.
Well, the thing is with Winari is like if you don't like the rumors that you're hearing about Williams Winari, just wait a day, and you'll like it the next day. That's basically where it's at right now. So, the thing when you hear from Missouri people, it feels very Homerish. When you hear from Oklahoma people, it depends. Like, I'm not like it's. We have our homers and like the Brandon Drums of the world and stuff like that, but like it's close. But I still lean Oklahoma just barely right now. It's like if it's like 60-40, 51-49, however you want to slice it, I would still lean OU because at the end of the day, there's just so much. If he takes a bag and he stays home, that he was never serious about being a part of a good college program anyway.
Yeah.
But if he wants to, like, he's going to get paid at Oklahoma. Is he going to get the giant bag? Like, Missouri's offering him like $750,000 a year, which is insane. One defensive lineman is not going to change your program. It's just not. like he's not going to walk into Missouri next year and just like he's not Ndamukong Suh. You know what I mean? Like he's good.
Yeah. Well, can Missouri? That's the other question. Can Missouri make him to an NFL defensive tackle?
I mean, he's a defensive end, so.
I mean, and that's
yeah.
Like Stone's a defensive tackle, but it's like, again, like family. There's always thoughts that his dad wants him to stay close to home.
If he does, that's fine.
But like moms have more influence than dad, in my opinion. Here's the thing, though. He's got all of his high school teammates from the year before, and the year before, currently, and that are going after him. That are like Caden Green played with him, and he's on his roster. We just had a bunch of Lee Summit North kids, like for the Sooners Under the Stars event, like a week or two ago. A lot of them are likely coming to Oklahoma. There's all those little things are in OU's favor right now, but a giant bag is a giant bag, and Missouri people are giant douchebags. So I don't know. It's just. I do think it's a tough decision because it's a lot of money to potentially turn down, but I keep hearing that OU is either countering or they're increasing the amount where if you say no to less than a certain amount, it's not going to like change anything. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, it could go either way. But, I do think that people are, as of right now, people on the OU side are feeling a little more confident as each day goes by. Because the one thing, people freaked out a little bit when a Missouri mod or a rivals like K-State national guy or whatever, or a Missouri guy put in a forecast for Minari to go to Missouri. And it was like, oh, people are freaking out. The problem is no one else of note, like a K-State person did it too.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback, but no one of note on OU side has flipped their picks if they have made them already. Steve Wiltfong hasn't put in anything, although Wiltfong's not going to put anything till the day of.
Well, yeah. Well,
it's the number one. It's the number one player in the country. He is not putting in that pick unless he's certain. So
he's got burned before with David Hicks. I'm not surprised that he's going to wait it out.
So I don't know. Like it's going to be a Monday night commitment a week from tomorrow. People are, as of right now, they're cautiously optimistic. And as of right, like things can change in a week. So we got a whole week till we get there. So just gotta be patient. Like it was supposed to be the 1st, then it was the 7th, it was the 14th, and then it finally got officially announced on the 14th. Because people could tell me, oh, it's definitely for certain happening, and I kept telling people, usually kids put out public graphics when they're going to commit, and it's the number one player in the country, and it's like, are we certain? Well, yeah, so and so on this board said so. Okay, I mean, I believe so and so on said board, but can we get something like
an actual? Yeah.
The running joke is it's the announcement for the announcement for the announcement.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that so
kids
much.
will say big announcement tomorrow, and that's the announcement for the announcement for the announcement. So
high schoolers love drama. Are you sure about that, man?
Yeah. So, but anyway, the 26th, David Stone is committing to OU, and I have one stupid fucker on Twitter because I did the big Hopium post. Like, all right, guys, it's going to be a roller coaster this month. Worst case scenario, we get 1 5-star defensive lineman. Best case, we get 3. So here's hoping. And then one guy's like, actually, worst case is 0. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you useless. God, I fucking hate all of you people. It's actually 0. And it's like actually you're a fucking cunt. You're a little bitch. David Stone's going to Oklahoma, everybody. It's the worst kept secret.
But he keeps taking trips.
No, he's done. He's not taking trips.
But according to them, he's still taking trips.
No, he's not. Like
How
he's
do you know,
committing.
man?
No, he's not. He's not taking trips. He's committing to us.
What's
Like you could listen. He quote unquote said, "Yeah, I'll probably take in-season trips to Miami and A&M." He committing to Oklahoma the 26th. Trips get canceled all the fucking time, so he ain't taking trips. Plus, he's been to those fucking places. He's been to OU a bunch of times. Sister goes to OU. His teammates that he are going to OU. He's got 2 boys. His got boy at IMG and his buddy who just committed in-state. McDonald just committed. He's going to fucking Oklahoma. So every time I see you, like, actually, it's like, God, I hate all of you little whiny bitches on Twitter so much. I fucking hate OU Twitter. Some of the dumbest motherfuckers on this planet are on OU Twitter.
Is it worse on Twitter or on the message boards?
OU Twitter, like all the Facebook people migrated to Twitter, and I hate them. I hate them all. I really fucking hate them.
I'm so sorry.
I had a stupid cunt accuse me of racism last night, and she couldn't even say what I allegedly said or did. And I'm just like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate all of you.
So the moment you get that blue sky invite, you're out.
Oh yeah, shit, dude. The moment like a legit social media platform comes up, I will have zero presence on Twitter for football reasons. I will be gone. I can't do it anymore. Like the only reason I still have it now, because like, but yeah, if we do get another social media platform that overtakes Twitter, whether it's Blue Sky, whatever it is,
I was born a snake handler. I'll die a snake handler.
I'm going to follow and interact with anime people that I care about. And
I was going to say, that's why people should be following you on Twitter is for the anime. I'm just saying. Or AEW.
Last night, I got to watch Monkey D. Luffy turn into a Tex Avery cartoon character. So, it was great.
It's true. With Gear 5. Yeah. Yeah. How are we looking on Caden? Is that still up in the air with LSU? I know Oklahoma's...
He not going to Oklahoma. So.
Oh, did that ship finally sail?
Yeah, that ship don't... Yeah, I went a long time ago. He ain't going.
Gotcha. Is
look,
that the same?
Look, could shit change? Maybe. I'm not counting on Caden Durham going to OU. He's going to LSU. So,
is that the one I was thinking of that OU was in a fight for that they could have gotten it, or is that the same one? I may be thinking of someone else.
No, like we got Taylor Tatum, and so that kind of changed things a little bit. So, like if we hadn't gotten Taylor Tatum, we would have gotten Caden Durham. But
gotcha.
Again, like I just think at the end of the day, it's like I'm not worried about running back. We got Taylor Tatum, Xavier Robinson, and there was that fucking nothing burger of like he said wow on Twitter, and it's like, what does it mean? I'm like, oh,
what does anything on Twitter mean if you think about it?
Before or after, it's X, Andrew. It's X. You got to get it right.
Look, Caden Durham is a troll on Twitter. He's a really good troll, and I respect what he does. And so, look, if he decided to troll the fuck out of everybody and say "fuck you," I'm going to Oklahoma in a few weeks. Great. I ain't gonna complain, but I do think he wants to be the feature back where he goes. I don't blame him. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor Tatum is getting like Joe Mixon light comparisons. Not his off the field birthday celebration nights, but him actually on the football field making plays. So I just just trying to think of anything else. Nigel Smith is committing on the 8th of September. And again, worst kept secret in the world. He's going to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So, Danny Okoye is probably going to be an in-season commitment. I think he's an in-state, kid who's probably the number 1 overall player in the state, if not just defensive line or edge rush or whatever. I'm just like, I can't wait till we get to like September, especially when Nigel Smith commits, and I can just collectively say a giant fuck you to everyone who whined and complained that we didn't get what's his face who committed to Oregon in state, And I'm just like, I hate all of you people. Because, oh my God, we're not getting... Our defensive line is like, you do realize we're in the hunt for 3 legit 5-star defensive linemen. And Nigel Smith. And Jane Jackson. And it's just like... And you're worried about some 3-star kid in state who went to Oregon. Or who was like a low 4-star overall.
Yeah.
I just...
I'm getting the feeling you really hate OU Twitter.
I hate OU fans in general. Sometimes there's some of the there's some of the stupidest motherfuckers on the planet.
So you're saying I should panic more or less?
Yeah, sure, panic more.
Sweet. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, I just hate people don't know fucking recruiting who go fucking nuts when they there's that kid and girls like. There's people there's people who think they follow recruiting and they don't. I am not the big recruiting expert people think I portray to be. I just keep my finger on the pulse of things. That's it. There are people who spend way too much time following recruiting. I'm in a Discord server with them. I see these people every day. They don't fucking leave. They don't fucking leave it.
They don't. Well, isn't it what you told me? There's like even for you, there's an art of learning about recruitment, because even with what you do, you're already in like the top 10% versus everybody else based on how you figured out how to follow recruiting.
I let other people follow high school kids' Instagram posts and shit like that. I'm not doing that.
Oh come on! Do you want to bully some high school kid because he's not 100% sure what he's doing 3 years from now?
I just saw him post on Instagram, man. Look what he's doing. And it's like, do you people have anything better to do with your lives?
Isn't that what you?
No, they don't.
Isn't that literally the difference of what's the saying? Letting like a high schooler like decide your life, essentially, like ruin your day. That's kind of the same realm of that.
Well, these are the people who tell you, guys, so and so just scrubbed all of his. Like you say, he committed to a school or something. Say he committed to Ohio State. So and so just took off all of his Ohio State mentions in his bio, like that type of shit. And what really sucks about that is like 9 times out of 10 that actually means something. And it's like so and so just scrubbed his Instagram of all of his visit to Ohio State. Oh my God, he's gonna flip. He's gonna flip. It's like, can I just like? I just want to enjoy my evening quietly. I hate this shit so much.
Hey,
like,
something that will make you happy.
That's why they want. That's why.
If I won Powerball one day, I would go. You would.
The signs will be there.
If I ever won Powerball, you will never see me again.
I think that's why.
Yeah, the signs will be there.
That's why Sankey was saying he wants. I think Sankey was saying he wants to change the recruiting calendar because I mean, in all honesty, the recruiting calendar.
But he's not wrong.
Fucking coaches bitch that they would. They had they were tired of waiting for the classes to sign, and they would have to spend another 2 months in the off season, wait till February when they would have to play the game some more. Now they want to go back to the way it was because now they. It doesn't matter what day. Here's the thing. It's not going to matter what day you make signing day. Recruiting is year fucking round. It never stops.
Which it does suck for the coaches for that. It's not.
I don't fuck them. You get paid millions of dollars. Fuck you. Do your job.
I mean, it does. It does suck. I have a friend who's a journalist, and I mean, and basically, unfortunately, so much of his time is spent on recruiting.
If you don't want to be a college football coach and you don't like recruiting, why are you here?
I mean, that's why Bob got out.
Yeah.
Bob did not want to do social media. I respect that. He got out. He left.
Yeah.
On
He's
his
like, all right.
term.
Bob was like he liked the good old days of like parade All-Americans and shit like that. Where it's like now it's like you have the drama of like websites updating 4 or 5 times a year for rankings and it's just. Like I love and hate recruiting, but I mostly hate it. So it's just.
If there's anything that is a consolation prize, you do know what you do like though. Besides, anime, AEW, that stuff. You do like getting transfers in on the softball team, especially when it's from your rival and they like completely melt down. You do like that, right?
I didn't even pay attention to that. I don't care.
Oh, well, yeah, they completely melted down. It was great.
Oh, I'm sure they did. But it's just like
it was enough that even our state newspaper, Sean, went, "This is only solidifying that Oklahoma's still the evil empire." It's like,
that's fine. I don't care.
Thanks, Jenny Carlson.
Yeah, be evil.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares? We're evil. I don't care.
Cool.
Anyway, we're still waiting on Dominic McKinley to potentially make a commitment date choice. I'm thinking some people are saying like September 1st or something for him.
Well,
that's like an OU Texas. That sounds like that's an OU Texas battle. So
didn't you? And I'm trying to recall it. It's been maybe in casual conversation or a previous live stream. Didn't you mention, Sean, that the recruits now are wanting to recruit like right at the beginning of the year just to get it out of the way at this point?
Yeah, because they want to play their senior season, not to worry about doing other bullshit.
Right.
They don't want to take, like, don't get me wrong, some guys will take trips during the season if they're committed just to go see their future team. Like, Oklahoma's playing so and so. I'll go on a recruiting visit, even though I'm committed. But like the thing is, like, a lot of guys commit in the summer, so they get out of the way. They can focus on their senior season, and then they're ready to go to college, whether it's early enrollee or not. So it's you'll still have some guys who are still making decisions, and they'll take their visits on campus during the football season, and there'll be signing day drama. Guys will commit on signing day, but
there's always drama.
Yeah, well, just got to be patient with a few of these guys. So,
but I don't want to be patient. I want everything now.
Mm-hmm.
I want my flash flight. I want my fresh fry. I want my flash fried buffalo in like 5 seconds, not 15.
Did you say you wanted your flesh flight?
My flash fried buffalo.
Anyway,
this is why we can't have nice things.
No,
this is why we can't have the nice things.
No, we can never have nice things.
It's true. Only thing I can think of, last thing for it and wrap up, is definitely it was announced during the press conference that yes, Brent Venables' wife has breast cancer. So, and they've been treating it since middle of June. So everyone keep thoughts and prayers for Venables and stuff, because just being able to do that and manage the football team at this point, like, that's a lot on a family. So definitely keep them in the thoughts. I know there's some fan movement of wanting to do a pink out at the stadium for the first game, which would be great, but that's got to be a fan thing. I don't think Venables is going to like give the green light to OU to like try to push that or anything for it. If the fans do it, hey, more power to them. Other than that, though, just
fans needs to cool their fucking jets, because that's a very
it's a personal thing.
It's a personal battle, and some people don't want to be on Front Street dealing with their cancer battle, or they don't want the attention. Correct. I know they mean well, but it's like,
just chill out.
Like, OU needs to do this. OU doesn't need to do anything. OU needs to respect the wishes of the coach and his family. So how about we chill the fuck out?
Correct.
So,
and that's, and
if you listen, if you want to wear a pink shirt and be, go for it. I'm not gonna tell you, but like, just like, stop pestering the school to do something when they probably already had a conversation with Brent about it. If Brent wants to make it a pomp and circumstance type of deal, great.
He'll make it a pomp. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those. If you're gonna buy the $25 shirt that they want, just donate it, and not to Susan, because that company is very corrupt. Actually, donate.
Susan G. Komen, the one of the most corrupt charities on the planet. Yeah,
that's why.
The one that partnered with WWE for years and all that shit.
Don't
do that one.
There's better companies or to I think there's like donating directly like treatments and stuff. That's not the company.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, yeah, it'll be in October. So
correct. But again, it's one of those.
We're gonna see pink. We're gonna see pink in October anyway. If people want to do it, that's fine.
Well, the stupidest thing that happened with people going overboard with that shit was when the NFL was like, let's make the flags pink and shit, and it's like, can we not?
No.
We get the point. Yeah.
Can we not like change the flag colors and like there's a reason it's yellow and everything? Let's just leave it be.
I saw Barbie. I've done all my pink for the year.
Hey, Barbie. But yeah, that I just wanted to throw that out there. And plus, I saw the ones too where it's like, well, where are we gonna get a pink shirt, guys? Just leave your OU shirt outside for 20 minutes. The sun will bleach it. Like, not that hard. Y'all are making this way too tough than what it really needs to be. Or go buy a white shirt, get a brand new red one, wash them together. Problem solved. So
no, that's too complicated. I'm not gonna.
It is. It's too complicated. Sean, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I got nothing.
Cool. Swiggy, final thoughts? Anything?
My only final thought is that I'm glad it's August. I'm glad it's about to be football season. Glad with everything just in general going on, and it's gonna be a great time. Although I may be too optimistic.
Oh, you might be. Who knows? I'm of the opinion, Swiggy, that as Sean has said before, we're in the slog August month, but
we're almost there. August has never been a slog to me because my sister's birthday is in like a week, and then I have my mom's birthday, my dad's birthday, and anniversaries, holidays. No, August is my super fast time. I literally from now until February, I blink and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, for some of us, for me, I have other hobbies. This is kind of convention time anyway. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining tonight. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live or when I upload a video. And that's what I plan to do this week, guys, is to upload a lot of content this week. So be sure to check out the channel and just watch the descriptions for me as I edit the description for it. As well as if you want to check out the previous videos I've had before, as I always say, they're great background noise as we're all talking since they are about 90 minutes long. And then finally, guys, Boomer Sooner. Only one Oklahoma, and we'll see everybody here in a couple weeks when we preview like the season coming up at this point. So, Sean, Swiggy, have a good one.
Have a good one.